Some time ago, I made a video on how to deactivate auto start stop. If you want to see that video, I'll put a link in the description. In that video, I show a technique on how to deactivate the system that doesn't require any automotive expertise and doesn't cost any money to do it. However, not all cars are created equal, and this trick didn't work for everybody. So I scoured the internets and I found another technique that just might work for you. And I'm going to talk all about that in the video coming up right now. Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Full disclosure, I'm not a mechanic. And I'm not an expert on automatic start stop. That's not even what this channel is supposed to be about. And I did not invent the following technique. But if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section below and I will do my best. Or if you're like me and you just despise automatic start stop and you need some free group therapy, feel free to comment below. Used to be in the early days of auto start stop, you would get a button on your dashboard that you can push to deactivate the system, and it would stay deactivated until you shut your car off, and then when you started again it would default back to on, and that was annoying, but at least you had a button. Nowadays they're not even putting that button in the car anymore. You just have auto start stop and you can't turn it off at all, or at least the manufacturer doesn't give you a way to do it. So this is mostly meant for those cars that don't have a button to turn it off. It's just basically another way to turn it off without that button. Let's get into it. For this demonstration, I have borrowed my sister's 2019 Chevy Cruze. And as you see, we come to a full stop and the engine shut off. The tachometer is at 0. So here's what we're going to do to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. This isn't permanent, and you'd have to do it every time you put your car in drive, but it's better than nothing. Many cars have what's called a low gear. All that means is you put your shifter into L, and that's for low, obviously. And as long as you're in low gear, as a side effect, the automatic start-stop just doesn't work anymore. So you might be saying, well, but if I'm in low gear, the car won't go very fast because it's not switching through gears. Well, you'd be right, except this car have these plus and minus buttons here. What those are for is so that you could tell your car how many gears you want it to use while it's driving in low. So on the dashboard here, I don't know if you can see it, right about there, we have that L1. That tells us how many gears it can go through while it's in low. Well, this plus and minus button here is how I tell it that I want it to go more gears. So as I push this plus button, watch what happens over here. This little L1 goes up to L2, and I push it again, it goes up to L3, I can push it again, it goes up to L4. Basically, I'm telling it how high of a gear I want it to go to. It'll operate as normal right up to 4th gear. But this car has 6 gears, so I'm just going to keep pushing this button till we get all the way up to 6. So there's 6th gear. So I've just now told the car that I want you to stay in low gear, but go ahead and use all the gears. So it's not going to stay in low gear. It's using all the gears as normal. But because that little L is right there, the auto start stop is just not going to work anymore. And that's all there is to it. For a demonstration, let me show you what happens. So we are still in L right now. I've hit this plus button all the way up as far as it'll go. In this car, it only goes up to 6, but yours might go up to 9. And we're now going to drive to that stop sign right there. And we'll see if the tachometer stays on. Driving down the street, approaching the stop sign. And as we come to a complete stop, keep your eye on the tachometer. And we're now at a complete stop. but the tachometer is still going, which means our engine is still turning. We're still in L6. Gear shifter is still in L. And we are at a complete stop. And the engine is still running. Woohoo! And that's really all there is to it. That's the whole trick. I hope that helps. And as always, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a good day.